Today, we're diving into a really powerful story, a fable actually, all about a community and the forces that can tear it apart. It's called The Fable of the Divided Forest. How do you destroy a perfect society? I mean, that's a pretty heavy question, right? It sounds like the beginning of a tragedy, and, well, it kind of is. But it's also the core question we're going to unpack today. How can something that's totally in sync just completely fall apart? Okay, so picture this, a lush, deep forest. But this is no ordinary forest. We're talking about a place of absolute peace. A community where literally every creature, from the biggest elephant down to the tiniest little ant, lived without a single drop of fear. And the way they were unified, it was just incredible. This wasn't just live and let live. It was real, genuine appreciation. You had peacocks, who you'd think would be all about their own looks, absolutely loving the songs of the cuckoos. Huge elephants just chilling, watching fish swim. And get this, even natural enemies, like pythons and rabbits, were complimenting each other. There were just no walls, no divisions at all. And this whole vibe wasn't just some passive thing. No, they actively celebrated it. Can you just imagine these musical nights? Deer dancing with elephants, mynas and parrots singing their hearts out. Even the tiger and bear were in on it, showing off their gymnastic moves. Their world was so full of joy that they literally considered the moon and stars to be their personal guests of honor. But, just like our first question hinted, all this perfection was about to be put to the test. A stranger shows up. It's a jackal, and he's described as dirty, dangerous, and really, really clever. And the moment he arrives, everything starts to change. So what's his first move? It's not violence. It's much sneakier. It's words. He goes up to the elephants and starts playing on their ego, right? Whispering things like, "You guys are the biggest animals here. Why are you hanging out with squirrels and rabbits?" He's planting that first little seed of us versus them, making them think their old friendships are beneath them. And he doesn't stop there. He uses the exact same playbook with the peacocks. He flatters them, telling them they're the most beautiful birds around, so why bother praising the mynas? He takes what was a source of pride for the whole forest and twists it into a weapon of jealousy. So first he strokes their egos, then he plants jealousy. But now he pulls out his most powerful weapon of all, fear. He quietly whispers a total lie to the deer, a rumor that the tiger is just waiting for the right moment to pounce. He's literally inventing an enemy out of thin air, shattering the trust they all had. And the result? It's absolutely devastating. The forest is completely transformed. I mean, look at this. Before, they all lived and played together. Now, they're building walls, putting up fences. What was once a shared home has become just a bunch of isolated, fearful territories. And this, right here, is the tragic endgame. Because a divided forest is a weak forest. Now that everyone's suspicious of each other, hiding behind their little fences, it's easy for the jackal to hunt. That community safety net, it's gone. When the little ones cry for help, nobody comes. And one by one, they start to disappear. But just when it seems like all hope is lost, something changes. Remember the moon? The guest of honor? Well, the moon has been watching all this and is so heartbroken that he decides to do something about it. He actually comes down to earth, disguised as a sadhu, a holy man, to try and fix what's been broken. And this sadhu, he doesn't just talk about peace, he lives it. Every single thing he does is the exact opposite of what the jackal did. He gets lions and rabbits to share a meal. He tells the eagle, hey, protect the little chicks, don't attack them. He just reminds everyone of how things used to be, rebuilding that trust one small act at a time. So the animals see all this good happening, and they come up with what seems like a pretty logical solution. Hey, Sadhu, just kill the jackal. But he refuses. He tells them, I will help you, but not that way. He's got a different plan, and it's definitely not what they were expecting. And this is his solution. Instead of fighting fire with fire, he offers himself up. He goes right to the jackal, not with a weapon, but with this incredible act of self-sacrifice. He literally says, take me for your meal today. He's offering his own life to stop the cycle of destruction. The jackal, of course, just sees an easy meal, so he drags the sadhu away and eats him. The other animals, they're just devastated. But then, something really strange happens. They hear this weird noise, and they see the jackal, and his stomach is just growing, bigger and bigger, bloating up until, pop, It bursts. His own greed literally destroyed him from the inside. So, with the jackal gone, the truth about the sadhu comes out. A gentle voice speaks to the entire forest from up in the sky, and it delivers the real moral of this whole story. And this is it. This is the heart of the whole fable. Live in peace and harmony. Let there be no fences around you. It's a powerful plea to stay united, to tear down the walls that divide us, both the real ones and the ones we build in our minds. It's a reminder to remember that sacrifice, to remember what it felt like to be together, and to not be afraid. And you know what? It works. Instantly. The animals hear that voice, and it's like they all just get it. They start tearing down those fences they built. They bring back their community, their songs, their peace. The forest is whole again. It's a pretty simple story, but man, it holds some big truths, doesn't it? It teaches us that unity, even when it feels super strong, is actually pretty fragile. That words, they can be weapons. They can build these invisible fences. It shows us how fear is the #1 tool for anyone who wants to divide people. And finally, that sometimes getting peace back requires a huge sacrifice. And that really just leaves us with one last thing to think about. The animals in this story, they built real physical fences because of fear and suspicion. It kind of makes you wonder, right? In our own lives, in our own world, what kind of fences are we building today?